Good morning, students. As in the previous video, we have started the new chapter from history section for class 9th, and the title of the chapter which we are taking as the first chapter in history, the French Revolution. This is the second part of this chapter. So student, I am going to start the chapter in this video from the French society during the late 18th century. So here we will discuss how the society was framed before the French Revolution, which was occurred in 1789. That how the French society was developed, what was the social structure, economic structure of French society during the late 18th century. Student, when we say late 18th century, it means we are not only talking about the some last years of 18th century, it included the some few years of the starting of 19th century itself. Okay, so how the society was structured in a economical way, in a societal way, what were the social division of the people. In 1774, Louis XVI of the Bourbon family of kings ascended the throne of France. So who was the ruler of France in 1774? Louis XVI, and he belonged to the Bourbon family. Okay, he was 20 years old and married to Austrian Princess Marie Antoinette. Okay, so he was only when he was ascended to throne, he was only 20 years old, and he got engaged with the women, with the princess whose name was Mary. Okay, upon his accession, the new king found an empty treasury. Long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. When he became the king of France, that time the economic condition of the palace, or you can say the treasure of the financial treasure, was empty. Okay, he was not having the good economic balance in the country or in the kingdom. Long years of war had drained the financial resources of France, because there was a long years which was you can say spoiled during the war, and that's why the effect of the war, that financially France was so you can say weak. The France and the French people were facing so many adverse economical situations. So, how the situation was overcome, how the king has overcome by this economic or financial challenge. Added to this was the cost of maintaining an extravagant court at the immense palace of Versailles. Under Louis XVI, France helped the 13 American colonies to gain their independence from the common enemy, Britain. The war ended more than a billion livres to a debt that had already risen to more than 2 billion livres. Okay, so what are livres? Student, livres, unit of currency in the France. Okay, discontinued in 1794. Livre is a currency. Okay, as we are having coin notes, okay, in the form of currency, the livres was also the form of currency during the rulership of Louis XVI. So that what had happened, that there was so much of debt on the shoulder of the king and the France, and lenders who gave the state credit now began to charge 10% interest on the loans. Okay, and now the people who have given the loan to France, they were also charging some percentage of interest on the loan. So the French government was obliged to spend an increasing percentage of its budget on interest payments alone to meet its regular expenses, such as the cost of maintaining an army, the court, running government offices or universities, all under the supervision of Louis XVI. That we know that during the rulership of France, there was a monarchy system, and as a ruler, it is his responsibility to maintain the army, to maintain the court, running the government offices and university. He needs a huge amount of money. Okay, the proper balance and the circulation of money he wanted. The state was forced to increase taxes, and how only one solution was seen by him, by the Louis XVI, that he was having only one measure to overcome from this adverse economical situation, that he imposed heavy taxes on the people. Okay, he increased the taxes on the people. Okay, yet even this measure would not have sufficed. Although it was not sufficient, but still he has tried that only this way, by imposing the heavy taxes on the people, he can overcome with this financial crisis. French society in the 18th century was divided into three estates. How many estates? The French society was divided during the 18th century, three estates, and only members of the third estate paid taxes. Okay, there was three estate: first estate, second estate, and third estate. And Louis XVI only imposed the heavy taxes to overcome the financial crisis on only third estate people. Then you will come to know how these third estate people were financially overburdened, and how they have joined the idea of French Revolution. You will come to know now. The society of estates was a part of the feudal system, okay, that dated back to the Middle Ages. The term old regime is usually used to describe the society and institution of the French before 1789. Okay, 1789 was the year when the French Revolution was occurred. Okay, so there was also a feudal system. It is also a type of a tax which was imposed on the third estate people. You can see that how the system of estate in French society was organized. Peasants made up of about 90% of the population. In French society during the 18th century, 90% of the total population of France, 90% is a big number, student, are involved in peasantry work, agriculturist work. Okay, however, only a small number of them owned the land they cultivated. And not only this, that among them very few people are having their own personal piece of land. Otherwise, mostly the agriculturist and the small peasant and farmer cultivate the others people land. About 60% of the land was owned by nobles. Total land, and 60% land was owned by nobles, the church, and the other richer member of the third estate. Okay, so in the third estate, 60% land was obtained by the nobles, the church people, and the richer member of the third estate. The numbers of the first two estates, that is the clergy and the nobility, enjoyed certain privilege by birth. The other member of the other first two estate, which included the clergy and the nobility, they enjoy the so many advantage in the society, as they have taken birth in a higher group of society, first and second estate people. Just because of their accidental of birth, they enjoy the enormous power and the privilege and the comforts and luxury in France. The most important of these was exemption from paying taxes to the state. The most important, you can say, luxury for the first and second estate people in France during the 18th century was that these first two estate people were not liable to pay the taxes. Okay, so it becomes a major reason for the French Revolution that only the third estate people have to pay the heavy burden of taxes under the feudal system or the other revenue collection system. The nobles further enjoyed feudal privileges also. These included feudal dues which they extracted from the peasants, and these nobles people also not having the burden of feudal system, and they impose the heavy from where they have taken the taxes, they got it from the peasants. Peasants were obliged to render services to the lord, and the peasants are responsible to give their services to the landlord. And how they offer them their services? These peasants work in the house and fields of the landlords without any payment, relevant wages, to serve in the army or to participate in the building roads. These were the three ways that how the third estate peasant show their services to the landlords. They work as agricultural labor in the landlords fields and houses. They serve in the army also, and they participate as a labor in the building construction in the kingdom. Okay, so these are the three ways that how the peasantry group of the people in France during the 18th century were liable, were burdened on the heavy taxes, and even there were not fixed wages for them. This was the basic foundation and the reason which became a strong reason for the French Revolution in France. Now, student, the church too extracted its share of taxes called tithes from the peasant. Now, the church people also, you can see first the landlords, nobles, and clergy, how they imposed, how they were exploiting the third estate people. Okay, especially peasant. Okay, and now the church people also extracted their share of taxes in the form of tithes from the peasant, and finally all member of the third estate had to pay taxes to the state. Okay, these included a direct tax called tally and a number of indirect taxes which were levied on articles of everybody consumption like salt or tobacco. The burden of financing activities of the state through taxes was borne by the third estate alone. Now you can see that only the third estate people were responsible to pay the various types of taxes to the first and second estate people. Okay, the church people also taking the taxes in the form of tithes and the tally. Then they were also imposing the taxes on the salt and tobacco. So these are the way that how the third estate people in the 18th century in France were totally exploited in terms of their economic life. Okay, now we will continue the struggle to survive. Now we are talking about. I hope that you have understood that who struggled, which state people struggle for their survival. So they are not. They are only the third state people, none other than the any other state. They were the peasants of the third state. So how they struggle for their survival when there is no earning, when there is extra revenue collection feudal system or tally and the tithes imposed by the church people or the nobles on the third estate peasantry group. Then how they have come up with the solution, how they survive. In fact, the population of France rose from about 23 million in 1715 to 28 million in 1789. Now you can see the huge number of increasement in the French population. Okay, from 1715 to 1789. This led to a rapid increase in the demand for food grains. As we know that if in a country there is a large number of population, so much of consumption of food products will be there. India is the second largest populous country, so we know that we need a very good agricultural activity so that we cannot satisfy the need of our country people, but we can export the food grains also. Now that when the when the population of France increased, production of food is also required to be increased. Production of grains could not keep pace with the demands, but as the population was increasing in France, in the same process, the production of food was not increasing. So, what had happened? The price of bread, which was a staple diet of the majority, rose rapidly. So, that's why the price of bread was increased rapidly. Most workers were employed as laborers in the workshop whose owner fixed their wages. But wages did not keep pace with their rise in the prices. As one side, the expenses are becoming heavier than the wages. Okay, so the gap between the poor and rich increased more. Things became worse whenever drought or hail reduce the harvest, and whenever by the climatic condition the harvest and drought was there, so the result of the crop was not fruitful, and it resulted into the subsistence crisis. Are you getting the new term? Subsistence crisis, continuously not the availability of food items to the people. Adverse situation, something that occurred frequently in France during the old regime. So, subsistence crisis was developed up to the 18th century in France, that the people become that the especially the labor and the peasantry group were very tough. They were not capable to overcome by the financial burden, as their wages are low and the expenses and the piece of bread was so high in cost. So subsistence crisis means an extreme situation where the basic means of livelihood are endangered. Okay, it means subsistence crisis means that the people of France, especially the third stage, were facing during the 1789, facing the subsistence crisis. It is a situation where they are not able to fulfill the basic food need to their family and themselves. So it was the scene of the France during 1715 to 1789. Okay, student. So we can see that how the people of third estate were adversely affected by the heavy burden of taxes and the increasing population in France from 1715 to 1789, and how there was a very tough situation for them to survive, to earn their livelihood. Now the next is a growing middle class envisage an end to privileges. Now how the middle class people imagine about their economical situation, and how the end of privileges, that whatever comforts and luxury was given to the first and second state people just because they belong to the well reputed rich family, how they all these comforts come to an end when the situation becomes so much adverse in the France. We will going to study it. In the past, peasant and workers had participated in revolts. Now obviously, when the as a human being, if we are not capable, just because of the exploitation in our rights, if we are not capable to earn our livelihood, then definitely there will be a revolt. The people became aggressive, and the same thing has happened in the France also, that now the workers, okay, and the peasant, they were participated in revolts against increasing taxes and food scarcity. Why they were taking part in the agitation, or the you can say revolts in France? Because they want to stop the heavy burden of taxes which was only imposed on them, and there was still the food scarcity. There is not the one time meal they can offer to their family. So but they lack the means and the programs to carry out full scale measure that would bring about a change in the social and economic order. But they were not having a set plans. Okay, these peasantry and the working class was not having a set plan, that how they can oppose, what will be the manner, how we will educate our brother that who are not having the option to fulfill their economic life, or the you can say basic amenities to the family, how they have to fight against this injustice. They were not having any set plan. This was left to those groups within the third state who had become prosperous and had access to education and new idea. So this was left to those. So that's why within the third state people, these peasantry group and the working class, given this opportunity to the educated and rich people of third estate, that now they have to do something, they have to create their ideas so that we can fight against this injustice. Now in the 18th century witnessed the emergence of social groups termed as middle class, who earned their wealth through an expanding overseas trade and from the manufacture of goods such as woolen and silk textile, and were either exported or brought by the richer members of the society. In addition to merchant and manufacturers, the third estate included professions such as lawyers, or administrative officials, all of these were educated and believed that no group in society should be privileged by birth. So, student, that this is very important to understand that in third state the educated class is also involved. When we say the third state, it is not only the landless farmer, peasant, and the labor or the worker. They involved some rich people also, which were educated and they were professionally a lawyer or the administrative official. They think, they believe, because they know the importance of education. All these were educated and they believed that in the society there shouldn't be given any comfort and luxury to the people who have born in the rich or the royal family, because to take birth is an accident. Okay, we should given the privilege to equally to the every people in the every society in every state. So rather a person's social position must depend on his merit. So that why we should give privilege to the people, it should be depend on his or her talent. Okay, these idea envisaging a society based on freedom and equal laws, and these ideas give birth the feeling of freedom and the equal laws and opportunity for all, were put forward by the philosophers such as John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Underline these two philosophers of the French society who were in the favor of democracy, who were in the favor of equal opportunity, equal law, and equal freedom to each and every single people of France, included John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. In his two treatises of government, Locke sought to refute the doctrine of divine and absolute right of the monarch. Rousseau carried the idea forward, proposing a form of government based on social contact between people and their representative. In the spirit of laws, Montesquieu proposed a division of power within the government between the legislative, executive, and judiciary. So you can see that how these educated working class, given the idea that a democratic regime should be set up, the power should be divided among legislative, executive, and judiciary, as in present day in India, in a democratic nation, these format of power sharing is implemented. This idea was given by the Montesquieu, okay, in France. Now, this model of government was put into force in the USA after the 13 colonies declared their independence from Britain. And this model, that power which was given by the Montesquieu, it was implemented in the USA when after the 13 colonies declared their independence from the Britain. The American Constitution and its guarantee of individual rights was an important example for political thinkers in France. Now, the American Constitution and its guarantee for individual rights was an important example for the political thinkers in France. So, how many political thinkers who were educated, who were in the favor of the equal opportunity to everyone, was a good platform for all the political thinkers in France. Now, the ideas of these philosophers were discussed intensively in saloons and coffee houses. Now you can see that how these philosophers, Montesquieu, the Jean Locke, and the Rousseau, how their ideas influenced the common people in their common places, which included saloon and the coffee houses, and spread among the people through books and the newspaper. Now, with the help of newspaper and the help of books, the idea of liberty, the idea of equal power sharing is distributed among the people. These were frequently read aloud in groups for the benefit of those who could not read and write. Even the people who were not able, who are illiterate, who cannot read and write, they will also get the idea about their equal rights and opportunity when they heard the other people reading the newspaper and the story. The news that Louis XVI planned to impose further taxes to be able to meet the expenses of the state generated anger and protest against the system of privileges. And when the news spread in the France that now Louis XVI is planning to impose more heavy taxes on the third estate people, it generated anger among the third estate people, and they were totally against the system of privilege on the basis of birth. Okay, so student, it is a, you can see that it was a situation before the French Revolution in France, that how the third estate people were totally ignored, exploited, just to gain the financial support or financial independence in France by the Louis XVI. Okay, now the outbreak of the revolution. Now we will study that how ultimately the French Revolution started, how the people came together to move forward against their exploitation, financial burden, and their tortures. Now Louis XVI had to increase taxes for reasons you have learned in the previous section. As we know that what were the reasons that Louis XVI were forced to impose the heavy taxes. How do you think he could have gone about doing this? In France of the old regime, the monarch did not have the power to impose taxes according to his will alone, because that how it was possible, that how autocratically he has imposed the heavy taxes. Because if we see the old rulership, that in old regime of monarchy system, it was, there was no right that king was having no right that he can impose by himself the heavy taxes on a particular section of society. Rather, he had to call a meeting for the estate general, which would then pass his proposal for new taxes. The other way that how he can do this, that he has to first call the meeting of the estate general, and then after this discussion they will put forward this proposal. The estate general was a political body to which the three estates sent their representative. And what is beta estate general? It is a political body. In that political body, one member is included which who belong to the every estate. Okay. However, the monarch alone could decide when to call a meeting of this body. However, it is so that whenever the ruler wanted, he can call a meeting of this body. The last time it was alone was in 1614, and it was done last time in France in 1614. You can see, and we are talking about the 17th and the 18th century. So it means that how the Louis XVI were not obeying the old regime, and how by his own will he was autocratically using his power which he was not allowed. Okay. Now on 5th May 1789, Louis XVI called together an assembly of the Estate General to pass proposal for the new taxes. Okay, he called a meeting of the general estates of general, so that he can put forward to impose the new taxes. Uh, resplendent hall resplendent hall in the Versailles was prepared to host the delegates. The first and the second estate sent their 300 representatives each, who were seated in the rows facing each other on two sides, while the 600 members of the third estate had to stand at the back. So you can see the discrimination, that the people of the member of the third estate, they were standing while the first estate and the second estate people were sitting. The third estate was represented by its more prosperous and educated members. Peasant, artisans, women were denied entry to assembly. And in this meeting, the small peasant and farmer, the artisan and the women were not allowed. However, their grievances and demands were listened in some 40,000 letters which the representative had brought with them. However, their all demands of the women, demands of the peasant and the artisan was written as a form of letter, and they were also presented by their representative. Okay, we will continue this in the next video. Till then, student, especially class 9th, please watch the video, okay, and do the homework. Please attend the Zoom classes also, because here it is only the platform where we can share each other challenges, whatever the question regarding or the content regarding. Till then, take care. Goodbye.